Hi again, James Anderson here, and I want to continue the story about the idea that we develop our own talents and abilities. The growth mindset being the understanding that we're capable of developing our own talents and abilities, and learnership being the process through which we develop those talents and abilities. The challenge here for us as parents is to reinforce that message that life isn't about finding out who you are, where you fit, but rather life is about deciding who you want to become and going through the process of becoming that person. But sometimes, and I've told this message before, we accidentally, out of a place of love, send messages that perhaps leave our children with the impression that there are some things they can't be. One of those messages is when we look out into the world and we see people with talents and abilities. We see the mathematicians, we see the leaders, we see the whatever it might be. And we categorise those people. It's easy to do, it's natural to do, and it's useful to do. To look at the musicians as all those people with musical abilities, and to look at the leaders as people with leadership abilities, and to look at the mathematicians as people with mathematical abilities. It's easy to make those categories. The problem comes when we turn around and look at our children and try to categorise them in the same way. Because they aren't mathematicians, they aren't poets or artists or leaders or anything else. They're children. And they're children that are in the process of developing those abilities and the process of choosing which of those abilities they want to develop. One of the problems comes along when we look at our children and say, oh, you're such a mathematical sort of kid. And what happens is that when we say that over and over and over again, you're the mathematical one, you're the artistic one, you're the other one, we'll work out what you are later on. When we say those things to our children, we're sending a little message that not only are you mathematical or a leader or whatever else, but that's kind of all you can be. We build these self-limiting beliefs, this fixed mindset around our children. So the message for today is that when we look and categorise those people as adults, the way we need to talk about it is to say, yes, they're leaders, they're mathematicians, they're poets, they're artists, they've got those talents and abilities. The reason they've got those talents and abilities is not because they were born that way, they belong in that category, but rather they've spent a lifetime specialising. That all of those people started off just like you. They were all 5-year-olds. But the difference between the 5-year-old who became the artist and the 5-year-old that became the mathematician is that this 5-year-old spent their lifetime developing artistic abilities. And this 5-year-old spent their lifetime developing mathematical abilities. And of course, it's not as clear-cut as that. We don't become artists or mathematicians. We can develop in different areas at the same time. But the message here to remind our children that they're in charge, they create their abilities, that life is about creating who they want or need to be, rather than discovering who they are, is that behind any current categorisation is a lifetime of specialisation. And the question, the choice that our children have, what do you want to specialise in? What path do you get to choose to become the person you want or need to be in life?